So like, I firmly believe that like writing is therapy, right? Like when I'm going through something, the first thing that I do is I sit down and I write a poem about it. And sometimes like, I'm really excited about the poem because I think it's really good and I really want to share it with people, but I forget it's like really raw. But like y'all are so present and attentive and you're right here and it makes that job so much easier. So like, thank you so much for being a dope audience. I like and appreciate you a great deal. Okay, cool. So, a couple more sad poems, then we'll come back. So, like I said, I grew up in Houston. Terrible swamp, never go. And growing up, like a lot of my friends and I were dealing with a lot of mental health issues, and we felt like totally incapable of talking to each other or really anybody about it. Because we were like Southern dudes and we were like tough and shit. And I was fortunate enough to have parents who knew that our family had a history of mental illness and who knew the second that I started exhibiting symptoms of OCD. Like they got me a therapist, they got me a psychiatrist, they got me all this help that I needed without me ever having to ask. But like a lot of my friends, like even if they could have asked for this help, they so desperately needed, like their families didn't have the time or the money to get it for them. So it took me a long time to write this poem. I'm 27 and it's been a minute since I was 17, but it's finally here. It's poems for all my guys back in Texas. It's called Joey. Joey always told me, laughing as though it were actually a joke, that he wanted to kill himself, but it was never the right time. There were always groceries to be bought and little brothers to be tucked in at night. Don't worry, Joey isn't going to kill himself 20 more seconds in his poem. That's not the kind of story I'm telling here. Joey got promotion, and now he can afford antidepressants. Joey is Joe now. Joe is a cold engine in which none of the parts complain. Joe is a brick someone made out of fossils. If you removed money from the equation, Joey would have been painting elk on cave walls. People would have fed him and kept him away from high places because goddamn, look at those elk. I think that the genes for being an artist and mentally ill aren't just related, they're the same gene, but try telling that to a bill collector. We were 17 and I drove us all to punk shows in a station wagon older than any of us. We were 17 and I bought lunch for Joey more often than I didn't. We were 17 and one time Joey tried to talk to me about being depressed when someone else was around. I told him to shut the hell up and asked if he needed to change his tampon. That moment when the cartoon realized he's taking 3 steps off the cliff. He takes a long look at the audience like we're holding the last moving box in a half-empty house. Joey looked like that without a puff of smoke. He played video games for a half hour and then went home. Once, caught Joey in my dad's office, staring at the safe where he knew he kept the guns. Once, Joey molded his car in the shape of a tree trunk and refused to give a reason why. I once caught Joey in biology class, staring at his scalpel like he wanted to be the frog, splayed out, wide open, so honest. There's one difference between me and Joey. When we got arrested, bail money was waiting for me at the station. When I was hungry, I ate. When I wanted to open myself up and see if there really were bees rattling around in there, my parents got me a therapist. I can pinpoint the session that brought me back to the world. That session cost $75. $75 is 2 weeks of groceries. It's a month of bus fare. It's not even a school year's worth of new shoes. It took weeks of $75 to get to the one that saved my life. We both had parents that believed us when we said they weren't okay, but mine could afford to do something about it. I wonder how many kids like Joey wanted to die and were unlucky enough to actually pull it off. How many kids and people who cared about them but also had to pay rent. I'm so lucky that right now I'm not describing Joey's funeral. I'm so lucky we all lived through who we were to become who we are. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky.